What's up, guys? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be getting into the AM session strategy, basically how I go about breaking down the AM session and basically like my morning routine. It's been a while since I've made videos, so I'm just getting back into it. I've been really like focusing on my psychology, and yes, I've leaked on my Instagram that I've been doing some work with Randy Howell. So if you guys are struggling with your trading psychology, I would definitely recommend to go check out his free book or whatever it is. But um, yeah, if you're having trouble in that department, go see him. He really has changed my life for the better, and it's amazing to see what he has maybe seen and like what he has done for me, and just it is really amazing. And I want to share that gift with as much people as I can to just better their lives and just be more fulfilled with absolutely whatever they've got. Not searching for more. Of course, they could strive for more, but being content with whatever they have right now and get whatever they want. But just being content with absolutely like, but yeah, just being content with like your life at in the moment and not like focusing on like how you're these guys on the internet have like Ferraris and you don't. Just being content in the moment. And, and yeah, it's just really changed my life, and just how I started working for myself and not to prove to others that like um I took the right path or I'm doing it right, just to like work for myself basically, and like do it for myself. It has just changed my perspective on how like everyone is going about their own ways, and just what we were taught in school and just whatever. It's really eye opening. So if you want to go check that out, I would definitely recommend it. I'm not even saying like buy his course or whatever. Like just literally just read his book, and like if you're interested, maybe buy his like little courses there. But yeah, so let's start off with how do I go about waking up in the morning. So I just wake up, I literally drink coffee, do some relaxing practices. What else do I do? I then hop on the charts, and we'll go on a random day here. Do this day, for example. We'll break down this day and treat it like a normal AM session. So let's say it is 8:55 right now. Let's go to like 9:10. So usually around 9:10, I literally like would start checking. Okay, what kind of news do we have today? So usually I'll give you guys a couple of examples here. So for example, if it was Monday, we have no news at all. So if there's no news in the morning, I will usually skip the morning and then wait for the afternoon session. If it was Tuesday and we have 10 a.m. news, I'd wait 15 minutes after the 10 a.m. news to possibly take a trade, and of course trade the PM session. But today we're going to be mostly focusing on the AM session. So the next video will be the PM session. So definitely stay in tune for that. Again, no news, so I wouldn't trade the morning session. 8:30. So yeah, normal morning session. Start at 9:30 to 11. 11:10 sometimes. It depends because there's a macro at 11:10, and well, between 10:15 and 11:10 there's a macro. So usually around there I'll potentially look for a setup to target some sort of opposing liquidity if the market permits it. And Friday there's no news, so I would not be trading Friday morning. So yeah, no news. Again, normal day because there's news. As long as there's news, it could be medium impact, which is orange, which is this one, or high impact, I'll be trading. So let's say there's a medium impact at 10. I'd just trade right over it. So I'd start at like 9:30, and I wouldn't care about it. These are the red ones. The red folders are the ones that I care about, because if I'm in a trade, they could easily take out both sides of the market, and that wouldn't be good. Because that's like gambling. It's like, would it take out my side or the other side? I don't know. So I don't want to be in the market. I'm not here to gamble. I'm here to make consistent profits. So Let's check again if we have it. Yeah, so FOMC. I would not be trading this morning since there's no news. Yeah, there is news in the afternoon, 2 p.m., but there's no news in the morning, so no trading. 9:45 news. So this is a red folder, so I would wait until 15 minutes after the news. Right here we have an orange folder, 10 a.m. This one I wouldn't care about, so I'd start right away at 9:30. As long as there's news, I could trade in the morning. That's basically what I'm getting at. And if it's red folder, you always have to trade 15 minutes after, unless it's 8:30, which doesn't matter because I don't trade at 8:30. I wait till 9:30, so that's that. Let's go back in the chart here. So might as well just check what news this day has. So today is June 10th. June 10th, there we go. And let me pull it up here. There's only news in the afternoon. So it's President Trump speaking in the afternoon. So no trading in the morning, which is unfortunate. And let me just skip actually, because I would want to like break down the market a little bit with you guys. Might as well. So we'll skip to the next day actually. Let's see really quick what the next day is looking like. So Wednesday, yep, perfect, CPI 8:30. So we could also take a look at how CPI reacts when the news is dropped, and that would reflects on the markets and which side it'll go for. So let's play that, but I just have to skip here. So 7:10, and that's CPI right there. Massive pump up at 8:30, taking out these highs here, and that's it pretty much. Yeah, we're like at all-time highs. So there we go. So let's see, the market opens. Sorry, not opens, but it's 9:10, so I'm like doing a market breakdown here. Give me a second here. Right away, what I check for is opening range gap is there's a in futures, not CDS. This is a CDF. It's an index. In futures, which is the main markets, is where the big boys are at. There's a regular trading hours and electronic trading hours. This is electronic trading hours, and regular trading hours would stop at 4:14. So it's over here. I'll draw it out. That's what I look for. So I'll draw out the close on that candlestick at 4:14. There we go. Close right there. Opening range gap. Now we go here, and now we leave this. I want to see where the market opens around this line right here, this price. We'll come back to it later. Now I check filters. So what I mean by filters is I have a set of, I guess you could say, rules or like filters to literally see if I am permitted to trade the morning session. So right away we have any news in the AM session. Yeah, we did. We had CPI. Did we have really large range the previous day? Can't really check that, but I'll check on the 1 minute, the 5-minute chart. I can do the 5-minute chart there. I can't go on the daily because then it's gonna print the daily candlestick of the current day that we want to backtest here. So today's Wednesday, so let's go to Tuesday. That's Tuesday high and the low. Okay, so here to here. That's not big. Okay, so we're good with that, and we're good. We have news too. So if the opening range gap is less than 40 pips, so the opening range gap low so far is here, and if we open at 9:30, which is the opening range gap that completes the opening range gap, right? The price and time that creates the opening range gap. is at 9:30. So if the candlestick opens here, that would be 80 points, which is enough for us to trade the morning session. And what I look for is, let's say price opens up here, I look for the midpoint of it. And where does the midpoint lie? Well, we look to the left, we have a wick here. Just look at the consequent encroachment. Just literally just look at the consequent encroachment of the opening range gap, or midpoint, whatever you want to call it. And then look to the left and see what it matches up with, because price has a good chance of reaching for that middle line, that's consequent encroachment. So we'll leave this here floating. We'll come back to both of this later. So do we have a large range opening gap on Sunday? And well, today is Wednesday, so we don't have to worry about that. Did we have a larger range than 110 pips overnight? So overnight is, what I mean by overnight is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. So let's check that out right now. So 2 a.m. low right there. Yep, there. 81 pips, we're good. Next up is it a day ahead of a holiday? As you can see, there's no holidays here, so we're good with that. Next one. Is it a day before a long weekend or a long weekend of a holiday? So was there a holiday on the weekend before? Let me go on to it. And it doesn't really matter too because it's Wednesday, but it's really, if it was Monday, you would be checking that. Then what's next is an AM breakdown, AM session breakdown. So right away, what I do is mark out liquidity zones. So right away, I look for the same 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. high and low. So right here is a 7 a.m. low. Put that as that for now. 7 a.m. low. There we go. Now we mark in the high. So we have a little range here. Sorry for that voice crack. We have a little range here. And yeah, we'll come back to this stuff. Don't worry about that. The next liquidity zone that I look for is the London session. So we have a London low here. So that's quite a high probability target. Also, since we took out highs here during the news release, and well, it was also bullish. So I like to see that, like, builds like sentiment in the wrong direction, and I also did take out highs. So I would like to see this is a pretty like strong magnet right away in the morning. That's what I see, and also it looks like we're gonna close open above the opening range gap that was created yesterday. And let's mark out the new day opening gap as a little extra perk here. Let's go on the 1 minute. So the new day opening gap is, I think, 414 to 6. No, it's like 459, I think. 459 to 6. Yeah, there we go. Right there. You see how it goes on the bottom here? How it goes from 449 to 6. That's the new day opening gap. Day opening gap. I think that's the high. Yep. Let's put that in purple. And the low. Perfect. So we have that. We're way above it so far, but let's see the previous day's highs and lows. We took out the previous day's high. Previous day's low is these equal lows here. I do like that. It's pretty clean. Put it like that. There we go. What's next? Asia session highs and lows. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, they were both taken out. Changing states. So we got a little, maybe a 5-minute change in state here. Nope, not even. We got a 1-minute change in state here. Took out this high. So up goes candles right here. Change in state. Fair value gap right there. Started heading lower. And I think any SMTs. So let's go on to the US 500 and switch a bit here. Nothing really that like would change good on that. And let's slowly play the market here to the 930 open so I could place the gap right here, the line. So 930 is here, the opening right there. So that's the high, and let's mark that out. See how much pips, perfect, 81, and see how we went straight for the midpoint. And that's pretty much it for that. And usually at 930 there's a fake move, but I think this might be a continuation since we had a very bullish move here. And we also did take out liquidity, and we do have relative equal lows here and daily relative equal lows. So I think this might be a continuation, or maybe we just like come down, go up, take this out, and then go lower. But I don't think so, to be honest. Yeah, let's wait for that first presented fair value gap right there. Perfect. Didn't mean to click that. We'll put that first presented fair value gap. And let's see what happens here. So right now the main target is for the AM session is the 7 AM low and London low. So let's see what we get here. Just watching and waiting until 10. That's when we get our silver bullets. Silver bullets literally just a fair value gap where you would take it and sell, in this case, in this scenario, I guess you could say, and target sell side, or buy and target buy side. Let's see what happens. Come back up to the fair value gap. I would like to see if we see here on the NASDAQ. The US 500. Okay, let's see if we get a nice rejection. Very back and forth. I was gonna wait for a fair value gap in here, but literally a bunch of wicks, absolutely nothing. And I'm not entering in any of that. That's like, first of all, the risk is bad, and you wouldn't even want to see it come up into that one. So there's really no points. And we come up and we have an SMT right now. And what time is it? It's almost 10, but we're in the macro. We are in the 950 to 1010 macro. So definitely be watching out for something here. More structure shift there. I want to see this fair value get broken through. Okay, we broke above it. Now we're just a waiting game here. So SMT gets denied, and it is at 10:18. So yeah, let's keep skipping here. Let's put this so you guys don't keep hearing the clicking. There's really nothing here, to be honest. It's already 11. It's already 10:50 and there's nothing. So clearly, it looks like we're gonna draw towards this high, but there's nothing, no framework here that's like screaming out to me like to form a setup based off of like we did have this fair value gap. Let's mark that out. See if I maybe missed something because I did kind of go quick, but we'll check here. So it's an inversion. Do we bounce off of it and get some sort of fair value gap or something like that? Came here, bounced. Yeah, not really. It's terrible price action. Unfortunate that you guys have to see this example. I don't think I'll do another example since it would take forever. But yeah, like all I really want to get to you guys today is literally my step-by-step approach to trading the AM session. It's not really like reviewing how the AM session works. It's really just the key concepts of the AM session and just see like how I approach it, how I like filter out the days that I trade the AM sessions and don't trade it, and when do I start. Sometimes I start at 10:15 because we have news at 10, or sometimes I start at 10 because we have news at 9:45, or sometimes I don't trade it at all because there's no news, stuff like that. um yeah, but that's pretty much it to this video. This video wasn't really too long, but we'll really like play this the rest of the AM session out here. I want to see if something happens. Yeah, let's see here if anything. Okay, we literally just smush down fair value gap. This isn't that bad of like we came down for liquidity. Is there a no? There's no SMT, which is what I would prefer, but we came down in a macro time to take out liquidity, but with no SMT, like I said. So we formed the low right at 11:10. I would want to see us invert this, and maybe so we came above it and came back down into it. That's like a very high risk because there's no market structure shift. I would definitely want to wait for that. And there we go, market structure shift. Let's see if we can come back into this and take a long into that. There we go, we touched it. Let's see if we go up here. And I definitely would have gone stopped out there. Stop would have been below this low. It would have been something like this. First TP right here, and final TP there. And yeah, that would have been stopped out. Also pretty late. It's after 11:10, so it's quite a time where it starts retracing back on what the morning session did. So you can expect us to come take out this and then this because we're now in the 11:30 macro, which means that they're going to start targeting opposing liquidity to what the AM session did. So the AM session was targeting buy side, so now they're going to target sell side on the AM session price action. So you can see they came down, and they're probably going to come take this to right there, turn this into a liquidity line. Yep, so we're in the macro. Let's see if it just smushes down there. There we go. And yeah, that would have been it. Like I said, we're not going to do the PM session this video. It'll be in the next video. But I hope you guys took away something from this. I hope you guys understood everything that I mentioned. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm flipping through my notes here, and there's nothing really else that I want to like get to you guys to about. But yeah, like we went over the news, how we trade with the news, and checking the opening range gap, checking the filters. You could go back. I'm not gonna read them all again. Doing an AM session breakdown, So starting with a new day opening gap positioning, previous days highs and lows, like liquidities, all the liquidity zones. I mentioned all those. If we had like any higher time frame, SMTs, yeah, stuff like that. Also, like the first presented fair value gap here. See, I was getting respected. Once it got broken through, you could expect somewhat bullish price action. Sorry. The silver bullets, but there was nothing quite clean here. If the market didn't go for some sort of like high probability liquidity like this or like this, and if it didn't touch it or like take it out, then that morning session was not high probability, and it's if you didn't take a trade, that is a fantastic thing. The price action here today wasn't very probable, but yeah. So yeah, I told you guys that at 11:30 there's a macro that targets liquidity for the AM session, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.